Hey y'all, it's your girl Kayla, Kayla the Holistic Muse. Purr. And I'm so excited because today I'm here with a video, a cooking chat, okay? So I'm gonna be cooking and having a discussion about my most recent blog post where I talk about 5 signs that it's not them, it's actually you. So it's talking about dating. And I'm excited to talk about this topic because just being in the holistic wellness world and speaking so much on different, I guess, holistic wellness, like lifestyle hacks you could take on, I haven't had a conversation about application in like dating life and like different changes to make in that world, in that arena. So I'm excited to have this conversation. I'm going to be making vegan macaroni and cheese without cheese. And y'all, it's gonna be so good. I made this recipe before and it was phenomenal. So I want to say that you don't have to be 100% healed or perfect to call in your ideal partner. There's no such thing as being completely healed. There's no such thing as being perfect. I even hate the term healed. Like, you are whole already. Even with your childhood traumas that you're carrying, you're projecting onto the people around you, you're still perfect, okay? So you don't have to like strive for anything, but awareness is very key, especially if you're dealing with shame for your actions and your behaviors. Awareness is very helpful in allowing you to not perpetuate the same habits, and also giving you something to it makes you like just be a little more understanding of your habits, because you're like, okay, now I see why it's like this. And you don't personalize it so much. You don't take it to mean like, oh, I'm a bad person or I must just be, you know what I'm saying? Instead, you're able to understand, this is why I behave in this way or have behaved in this way historically. And it empowers you to, if you want to, because the choice is yours, either accept it and move forward, or accept it and change it. The choice is yours. I have my beautiful, lovely ingredients here, as you can see. And it's actually 3 a.m. It's 3:30 a.m. actually, to be exact. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was just like, let me handle my business. Spirit was like, you want to handle business? I was like, I'm gonna handle my business. So here I am. A little crazy, but yeah, not happy. Here we go, y'all. I'm going to start by boiling my macaroni noodles. And we're going to get into this juicy conversation, okay, where I talk about the different ways that I think our traumas can show up in the dating world, the different red flags to look for, not in the partners, but in yourself, to show you might need to do a little more work to be able to call in and receive the partner you desire, okay? You might be carrying a little bit of baggage, okay, that you need to let go of, okay? So let me get into it. Okay, y'all, so I want to say, for me, the first sign that I had some healing to do around dating and relationships and being able to call in and accept the partner I desire. That was loud. The first sign for me was when men or partners, because it's not just men, when the partners were like me, I would flee. Like, for me, like, if I could really peep that you liked me, it's like, I was cool with the dating and with the getting to know each other, the texting, but like when actual feelings, like when I get sense that like actual feelings are being like formed, I would like get scared. Like, I would get so scared and I would just be, it's like my feelings would like turn off. You can imagine how like weird that is, like for me to be like all gushy and crushing over one person one day, and then like when I realize that it's like reciprocal, or that they actually like do have feelings for me, or are beginning to have feelings for me, I'm like, I need space. This is too much. Please back the fuck up. And like, I don't know. I kind of attributed it at first. Like, I talk about how in my blog post, I talk about like it was this guy I was dating. We met on Tinder, and it was really like a cute relationship at first. It was just like a hookup kind of thing. Then it turned into a dating kind of thing. And when it turned into a dating thing, I like when I could see he was really starting to like attach to me, I like was just like, whoa, let's slow down things a bit. Like, I'm not even trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I was just very anti, like, and I didn't, with that situation, it was just like, I didn't attribute my anti-ness to me. Like, I really was like, it's him. Like, it's something about him I don't like, it's just, Noodles boiling, and I just preheated the oven. So, back to the conversation. Okay, so, yeah, it wasn't, I didn't really think like, okay, maybe I'm the problem until I actually dated a girl. Now, this is my first time dating a female. But when I did, it was like, we just really had like a really solid connection. Like, she was really cool. We quickly became good friends. And it was kind of the same pattern as with the other guy, where it's just like, as she started to really like have feelings for me and want to like, you know, deepen and move closer, I started like, whoa, back that ass up and give me 50 feet. Okay, I was like, and I just feel like that was the case because I was emotionally unavailable. Like, she really showed me how emotionally unavailable I was and how I hadn't been aware of it. I was walking around with this emotional unavailability this entire time. And it got me thinking about how like I would consistently choose partners like who were emotionally unavailable. And it was like, I thought that it was just a bad pattern, like a curse or something. But really the whole time I would pick, it was like I was subconsciously choosing emotionally unavailable partners just so I could like not have to do any emotional labor in the relationship, so I didn't have to be emotionally available. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really sadistic. But it was all subconscious, like all, nothing that I'm like nothing that I was like privy to consciously. It's all like happening in the background. And that's why I always recommend do that work, like whether it's meditating every day, whether it's having a consistent journaling practice, whether it's just spending time in heavy reflection, do that work to where you are like really peeping what's happening in your subconscious mind, because it will have you portraying all of these patterns and repeating these patterns from childhood that just don't need to be repeated. You know what I'm saying? And how you thinking you curse the whole time. You the one cursing yourself. That was a word, I know. I spent a lot of time in them streets, y'all. I was single for a minute. I was single and dating for a long time, okay? I've been doing this. Been that. From sugar daddies to, you know, dating. It's a lot of sugar daddies. It was a lot of it was a lot of dating. And when I look back and I'm like, okay, like, why did I have so many sugar daddies? I think one reason that it was like that is because of the lack of emotions necessary and that sort of connection. Like, I didn't have to be emotionally available. So it was like I was getting the perks of a relationship without having to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a real genuine connection. It wasn't like deep. It was really just transactional. I was always like a hopeless romantic. I was always kind of just had this mentality of like, oh, like I just want to be in love and like, you know what I'm saying? Really, what do I want to call it? Just like romanticizing and glorifying the concept of love and romance. But when it came to really like walking it how I talked it, I would never, like, I was not moving like that. Like, I was really scared. y'all, like, bro, like, what are you doing? And I think it's so interesting, like, we will label ourselves this way in our head. Like, if somebody would have told me, like, you're emotionally unavailable, I would have been like, you see how many times I just sat here and watched The Notebook and cried? Like, I'm not emotionally unavailable. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want love. Like, I would sit up there, probably argue my intentions or something. Like, I would not have believed that, because in my world, in my head, the way that I was, like, my perspective, that wasn't the case, but it was the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really the truth. And yeah. So that's another reason that I always just tell everybody to fucking meditate. Just do it. Just fucking see what's going on in there, because you might stumble upon some things that you ain't expect to find. Okay. While my macaroni noodles are cooking, I want to talk about the next sign that you're the problem and not them in the dating world. So the next sign is that you have attachment issues from childhood. So for me, this looked like my biological father was never in my life, Debbie, you would say. And then my stepdad passed away when I was a kid. And I just feel like me and my mom didn't have a super emotional relationship. Like, she was more worried about getting to the money, getting to the bag. So I don't necessarily feel like I was tended to emotionally as a child. And I feel like a lot of my childhood wounding is around, like, neglect, abandonment. And I think that is what really sparked me to be emotionally unavailable in my romantic relationships, because it's like my childhood, I don't know, just the way I was brought up, like, emotions weren't really, like, important. It was a lot of, like, suppressing emotions to handle business, to, you know, do what needed to be done. And I feel like, yeah, that really played a role in my emotional unavailability. It played a role also in my it caused me to, like, ghost a lot of people. Like, I've ghosted long-term friends. I've ghosted, I guess, romantic connections, or, like, people I was not really, like, somebody I was in a relationship with, but people I would, like, talk to romantically. And that's something that I really had to, like, reckon with, is just my ability to ghost people and to kind of detach, but not really, you know what I'm saying? But it seemed like it on the outside. And it's like, in that, like, it's like when you have, oh, my oven is preheated. But when you have, like, wounding around abandonment and neglect, a lot of times you will end up perpetuating that same cycle, or that same pain and trauma on other people. So, like, if you were neglected as a child, you might find it easier for you to ghost people than somebody that didn't have that type of trauma. Like, that's what I mean by that. And it's like, it just shows, like, why we need to fucking sit with ourselves and pay attention to our patterns, so we can stop perpetuating the same traumas that took place when we were kids on other people. That's another thing. Like, that's really important. So yeah, if you have childhood attachment issues that you haven't resolved or haven't considered, that could be playing a role in your dating life. So I challenge you to, you know, look into that. And when I say look into that, here is how you can combat it. Here's how I work to combat it, which I'm still a work in progress. But one thing that really helps is taking time to reflect. Taking time to yourself to really reflect and do shadow work. So for me, what my shadow work looked like is me saying, okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is what happened during my childhood. And just being able to draw the line to the connection of, like, my current habits and patterns and how it related to the different things that took place when I was raised and brought up. That is incredibly helpful. I feel like that's a really effective first step. The next step is setting intentions, because now you get to rewrite the story. Like, now you realize the story that you've been perpetuating and playing out constantly. And you know what I'm saying? Just repeating. Now you get to rewrite it. Now you get to let that shit go and move forward. Set intentions on how you want to move forward. That's what I did. I set intentions on, like, okay, if I want to leave a connection, I'm going to make it known to the other party instead of just ghosting them, okay? We can communicate. We can communicate, okay? So, definitely. And it's like, something like this, it seems like it's like people will really have a negative misconception of you. And you know what I'm saying? I think about Twitter, I think about social media, and I think about how different instances and scenarios kind of go viral. And, you know, all people are seeing is that one moment, and they will really base your entire character off of that. But, like, what if it's a trauma? Like, they don't, without really understanding that, like, what if you were brought up in a household where you didn't learn how to properly communicate, or where you were abandoned by a parent, or where, you know, whatever else. Like, these different things that take place, you could just be repeating them in your actions and habits, and not even really, it's like you could be shaming yourself for acting out in that way when that's how you were conditioned to behave. So it's like, once you realize that that's how you were conditioned to behave, you are able to change it and rewrite the story. Like, that doesn't have to keep being the story that gets played out. So that was really a revelation that brought a lot of peace to me, because it allowed me to rid myself of a lot of the shame for my ghosting. I was toxic, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, okay? But and it just allowed me to be able to move forward in a more mature way, where I'm able to communicate my needs, and communicate when they're not being met, and communicate when I want to leave a connection. So in moving forward and setting your intention, setting your intention to move forward in a different way, another helpful thing for me was, like, actually going back and apologizing to some of the people who I did ghost. And really, people, not everybody, but people who I had, like, relationships with, like we was friends and I dipped out and didn't say nothing, you know, I did. Or even family members, you know, I did reach out and apologize and explain myself. And a lot of them still don't fuck with me, but that's fine. I respect that, because my apology was more for me. It was more for me to atone for what I had done. And it was a part of me forgiving myself as well. So definitely, when you start realizing all this stuff and doing the work, you know, it's some situations where an apology may be worth it, and it's some where you might as well just leave that where it is. Okay, so the next sign that is not them, it's actually you, is you don't allow yourself time to process your emotions. That is a red flag. I'm sorry. Like, if you sit up here and you really think about it, like, how can you be emotionally available for a partner if you're not even emotionally available for yourself? Like, the math doesn't math. Like I say all the time, we're not capable of giving anybody more or less than we give ourselves. So the way we treat others is often a reflection of the way we treat ourselves. So in you not being emotionally available for a partner, or not having the capacity to do that, it's often a reflection of you not having the capacity to even do it for yourself. That's not something you're practicing within yourself. I'm gonna get into some more of this recipe, and I'm gonna keep spilling the tea to y'all because, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, if you are not, I feel like for me, I've always been a very logical person, and feelings don't make sense, right? Feelings and logic don't really align well. But that has led to me, like, subconsciously writing off a lot of my feelings and just kind of suppressing them. Like, I will, like, especially if they're messy feelings, like, I will neatly tuck them away in a drawer inside of me, like an internal cabinet, and never touch them again until they come up on their own. You know what I'm saying? Until they're triggered years later, like, or months later, however long. And it's like, you can't go through life like that. Like, you just can't. It's gonna lead to sickness. We know what unprocessed emotions do to the body. So something for me that has been incredibly helpful that I extend the invitation for you to try it as well is I will set like a time. So like every day I have a to-do list. Like I have to get this, you know what I'm saying? I will put on my to-do list, feel my feelings for an hour. I will set aside time to feel my feelings. So if something happened like say earlier in the week and I never got to really sit and really sit with it and process it, I will set aside time like, okay, that's something I need to attend to when I feel my feelings type thing. And it's just like creating a schedule around your feelings and just prioritizing them in that way is really helpful. And yeah, I encourage y'all to do that. Also for me, crying, like when tears come up, when I need to cry, I just let it be. Like I'm not gonna force myself to cry, but I'm also not gonna like force myself not to cry. You see what I'm saying? So just allowing your body to do what it do, because crying is very healing. So yeah, we got something. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my nutritional yeast. This is gonna give my my dairy-free mac the cheesy flavor that it needs, nutritional yeast. So I'm gonna start by just putting it all over my noodles. And y'all, this recipe is very easy, very simple. Some nutritional yeast, make it cheesy. But let me tell y'all something. The star of the show is this vegan Parmesan. This dairy-free Parmesan is really what gives it the cheesy flavor that I love. But the nutritional yeast do what it need to do. I'm using almond milk as well. Put a little of that just so it won't be dry. And kind of mix it up. Also, y'all, I am going to be using Kite Hill yogurt. So last time I made this recipe, I used vegan mayo, like a little bit of it. You can't taste it. But today I'm going to be using, I want to try this yogurt because I've had this yogurt before. It's really good, but I feel like it will make it like very creamy, give my recipe the creaminess that I'm seeking. So we're going to see. Not have vegan butter, unfortunately. I'm like, dang. I really needed vegan butter for this, but I feel like the yogurt will suffice. Doesn't really have flavor, but you see, can y'all even see? Good Lord. There y'all go. Yeah, let me put y'all in the loop. Let me just start with that much. We'll see if I need to build on it as we go. Yeah, I want it creamy, like. I know y'all hear it sound like good. I'm a kid. I like how gooey it's looking. Like, it's looking so gooey. It's sounding gooey. And yeah. I'm gonna add some more nutritional yeast. So yeah, back to what I was saying, y'all. Yeah, just being intentional. If you're not processing your feelings, 9 times out of 10, you are the problem. And you may not be the only problem. They might be the problem too, but you have a role in the problem. If you don't even feel your own feelings, if you're not even emotionally available for yourself, how can you ever be emotionally available for a partner? Like, that's just not a thing. So next, okay, the next sign that they're not the problem is actually you. Well, not you are the problem, but you have the problems. That's what I said. The next sign is you like the idea of the person more than you actually like the person. This one is unfortunate, y'all. I've been a perpetrator of this many times, okay? I ain't even gonna lie. It's been too many times where this is me. Okay. So, what I mean is, you create like a vision or like an avatar of this individual in your head. So like, okay, they come with the physical appearance already, right? And you create like a whole avatar in your head of like who this person is and what role they're gonna play in your life. And it's just all a huge projection. Like, and you're not even really seeing them for who they are. You're not really allowing them to show you who they are because you're so wound up in the fantasy and in the idea of who you want them to be. Stop doing that shit. Stop. I would do this a lot, okay? I had to check myself. I had to become really practical in my romantic situations and really look at it with a discerning eye. Like, and I really want to say what woke me from my slumber was, it was a lot of instances that actually like woke me from my slumber, but then I would just go back to sleep and be like, whatever, go back to dreaming. But I dated a guy who I just felt like I just had really projected this whole like image of him just being just really Mr. Right. And you know, I'm feeling all these intense feelings for him and just crushing on him so hard. And it's very early on and I'm feeling like this and I'm thinking these things. And he ended up like really like revealing who he was to me. Like I just really saw him. I don't know. I just saw him for who he was and not for who I wanted him to be. And I was like, damn. I just thought to myself like, damn, I don't really like him the way I thought I liked him. Like I actually don't feel like that. Like all that shit. And it just kind of made me be like, interesting. Interesting. So that shit, yeah, that was funny. But it really was eye-opening because I needed to see that. And then I guess like I feel like other situations with other individuals would take place as well where it just would kind of wake me up and I'd be like, this is not, you're not who I thought you were. Who I projected you out to be. So I would say, I think that this term is called limerence, which I've also had on the other end, but also kind of woke me up as I've had partners or like just people I was dating do the same thing to me, just really project, like not really see me for who I am, but instead see me for like this vision that they have of me in their head. And it's a huge turn off, especially when they're super into, like you could just see they're super into their idea of you and not really who you are. Like you see that they don't really see you, but they like the idea of you. It's a turn off and it's a red flag. And it's called, I've been told or I've learned that it's called limerence, which is just romantic obsession. This is romantic obsession, y'all. And a lot of times it starts in childhood. Like for me, it started when I was a kid, like when I would have traumatic times as a child. I remember, so I was a lucid dreamer. I used to be able to control my dreams. I think I still can if I really am intentional, but I just remember like using my dreams as an escape in a way of where I would like think of a boy, like I'm like a little girl and I'm thinking of like a boy coming to like rescue me from my current situation, and I'm like controlling the whole dream. And this is something I would look forward to every night. And it's just like I recognized how I was still kind of like repeating that same pattern in my adulthood of like using dating as an escape from reality. And I would look at like, well, I think back to the times where I dated the most, where I was the most active on like Tinder or just like, I don't know, just like going out with the most people. It was times where I was dealing with the most stress in my life. So like whether it be financial stress, whether it be stress from just me being a college student and, you know, having a lot of exams, I feel like those are the times where I would use dating as an escape the most. And I just challenge y'all to think of that. Like, are you caught up in the idea or are you caught up in the actual person? You know what I'm saying? how you could combat this is to recognize that the excitement that you feel for this individual, or for, I want to say, yeah, the excitement you feel for this person, those strong, intense feelings you're feeling, you have to realize that they are not real. Like, they're made up. Like, they're of a made up person in your head. They're not of a real person. Like, don't act on them. Like, you have to really just be practical, and you have to look at it from a logical sense and lens of like, given me knowing this person for the amount of time I've known them, which is typically short, does it make sense for me to feel the way I'm feeling? No, it doesn't. So don't be acting on it, because they are gonna think you're a lunatic. Like, trust me. Trust me. They're gonna think you're crazy. It's not mutual, it's not reciprocal, because it's not real. And I think that just realizing that, just move in the logical sense. You know what I'm saying? Just because the ideas and the feelings are there, it doesn't mean you have to feed them. So, and I feel like what I found is like, because for me too, I wouldn't be limerent with every person I would date. It would only be some people. But what has, I feel like me like being intentional about not feeding the ideas, not feeding those feelings, it makes them go away. Like, it does make them diminish if you don't give them your attention and you don't act on them, and you just recognize them and be like, yeah, I be tripping. You know what I'm saying? But also, what's also helped me is when I'm feeling very intensely about a person who I'm dating too soon, and I know I really don't know them, and I know I'm just tripping, I know it's all in my head, I will channel that energy into something else. So for me, I would say like online shopping, like that's my favorite way to channel that energy, because like I'm gonna care about this new outfit more than I'm gonna care about this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? So like I will, and you don't even have to shop. You could literally just put stuff in your wish list. You could shop for when you got the bread. Like, you don't have to purchase it all at once. But that is a really effective way, because I will go from clearance to clearance who? Who? Who we talking about again? 100% recommend just channeling that energy into something else that is more effective, or just channeling that energy into a healthier outlet. That's what we'll call it, okay? You don't have to give all that energy to that person who you don't even know. All right, so we're gonna start. We're going to start seasoning this mac, okay? So I'm gonna use garlic powder, my favorite ingredient in the world. Lucky I don't put garlic. I would put garlic cloves in this mac. Messing with me. Like, don't play with me. Like, I really love garlic. Garlic mac. I will make garlic mac and not real mac. I'm gonna use some paprika. Yeah. Hold on, is this just paprika or got other shit in it? Cause it's smelling like it's more shit. Interesting. We're gonna use some pepper. But yeah, y'all. Realizing that you have a problem is the first step, okay? Realizing that you have a problem isn't gonna solve the problem, but it is the first step in solving the problem. So it allows you to get it together, okay? That person does not deserve all that energy. Like, they don't even know you. Like, are they even worthy of you while you doing all this you dreaming? You don't even know. Wake up. Let me stop. Okay, the last sign that it's not them, it's you, and that you really you're the issue, you got the issues, is you are a serial dater. Y'all, when I tell y'all that being a serial dater is such a big red flag, that's a red flag. Like, that's a real red flag. And when I was in college, y'all, I was a real serial dater. Like, it was never a time, I can't even think of a time in college where I didn't at least have one person on my line. Like, I constantly had my hotation. Y'all know what a hotation is? It's a rotation of hoes. I constantly had a hotation. I constantly was entertaining people, dating, which, I mean, it sounds normal for an early 20s girl, but it's really a red flag, because when you are constantly dating, it's like, if you're constantly dating to avoid yourself, which that's what I was doing. Bless me. I was dating to avoid myself. I was dating to avoid the void, okay? Dating to avoid the void, the emptiness I would feel on the inside. I would use dating as a hobby, like damn near. And it was just very, a lot of time ended up being wasted. And in hindsight, I really wish that I would have taken that time and invested it into an actual skill that could like reward me today. Like, what I think about 2-3 years ago. Actually, no, 3 years ago. I would say from 2016 to 2020, I was a serial dater. 2021 is when I start taking breaks. 2022, I stopped dating for 9 months, and that's when it really woke me up, and I was able to see the light, y'all. Oh shit. But I would definitely say, like, I forgot where I was going with this. Damn it. I hate when that happens. Oh yeah, I was serial dating to avoid myself. And what I ended up finding when I did finally just have to face myself and stop dating is, it was like the what I was seeking from dating, like the fulfillment and the satisfaction and fulfillment that I was seeking in being a serial dater. I ended up getting all of that when I stopped dating and when I really just started like prioritizing myself, focusing on myself. It's so cheesy smelling. Yeah, so that's what truly, it's like once I seen the light, I haven't been a serial dater ever since. Like, I don't need to be talking to somebody all the time. I don't need to be romantically involved with somebody. I don't need that. Like, I'm good just in solitude, and I'm at peace, and I'm happy, and I'm putting my time into doing things that I love and that fuel me and love me back. And I really want to extend that invitation for you to try that as well if you are a serial dater. I know it sucks. Like, the idea of not dating is scary. Like, you don't like how it makes you feel. I already know, because I know back in the day when I was a serial dater, if somebody told me to stop dating, I would be like, what? Why would I do that? But no, that's like, it's really needed. Like, you really need to like fucking chill out and fucking focus on yourself and reflect. That's another thing. Like, when you stop serial dating and you actually take time in between your connections to reflect, right, in solitude, you get so much awareness of like yourself, and it allows you to do some of the work so that you're not walking into your next connection bringing the same traumas in that you was dealing with in your last connection. Like, you're not blindly just like, it's a blindness that it's like you're not aware of your shit. You're not aware, and so you keep perpetuating the same habits over and over and over that are, you know what I'm saying, like toxic. So it's like, for me, that was really helpful. Just stop. When you stop being a serial dater and you take time to reflect on your fucking thought patterns and habits and mindset and the roles you play in bullshit, it allows you to go into your new connection with that awareness and with the intention on not moving like that anymore. Like, you have a new intention. Okay, this is how I'm gonna go about this. And it allows growth, you feel me? But you gotta take that time away. You gotta step away, even though it's uncomfortable. It's just how it works, y'all. Don't kill the messenger. So I like recording like this for YouTube because I feel like I like YouTube to really see me tube. So yeah, I was just talking about serial dating with the people and how serial dating is fucking such a red flag. And if you're a serial dater, you need to take a break. You need to. The only way to combat it and to actually get the connection that's worthy and aligned is to stop. Let it go. When I think of the years I spent in my 20s just so obsessed with romantic connections and just giving so much of my time to dating, I think that, and only for me to end up single, it's actually infuriating because it's like I could have spent this time actually like pouring into something that was going to reward me at a later date. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest piece of advice I would say to my early 20s girls, or any girl or woman. Like, you don't have to, like, it's just a lot of reward in prioritizing you versus prioritizing romantic relationships. Prioritize your friendships, prioritize yourself. Like, and what I've also found in my it's like when I don't prioritize dating so much, that's when I attract the most, like, people. Like, when I'm pouring into the stuff I love, I attract the most people just on some genuine, like, oh wow, this was divinely ordained. Like, look how this just played out. Like, I didn't even intend for this to, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, so your life don't have to be dry. Like, you don't have to be like celibate forever. But you just be able to like allow things to just flow and you not be pressed, and it's just much more peaceful on this side, y'all. Okay, I've lived it. Okay, look at me. Look at me. For real though, like, I lived it. I seen it. It ain't nothing over there. Dead. It ain't nothing special over there. So, mac and cheese recipe. I'm thinking I'm gonna add a little bit more yogurt just so it can be a little creamier. But I feel like it's pretty seasoned. I might actually go through one more round of seasoning just to really ensure that the flavor is really soaked in there, you know what I'm saying? But my final note is just the importance of recognizing your habits and patterns when it comes to dating. The importance of taking time away for reflection so that you can show up, so that you can be able to better receive the partner and the partnership that you're calling in. Because it's like, if you don't do this work, like, you might not really be able to receive who spirit sends for you. Or you might not be on their level, you know what I'm saying? You might be the one messing it up, like, because you toxic. And you ain't did no work to heal your inner child. The heck? So yeah, I recommend taking that time, y'all. Like, it's very rewarding. And yeah, thanks, y'all. I'm also grateful that y'all, like, for everybody that tuned in with me this whole video. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that y'all end up trying this recipe and then it's bomb. I hope it's bomb. It is, y'all. So yeah, those are my final thoughts. I hope this helps. And if you're able to recognize some patterns that you are perpetuating, good for you. That's the first step. Okay. Now, y'all, this is my last layer. I'm gonna just put some cheese on it. Parmesan cheese. Parmesan. And I really just want to, like, top it up with cheese. And I have some, you know what, cause like while I'm pouring it, you need to just be keeping that shit on like that. Is it, Eddie? I was just gonna leave it at the top, but I decided to kind of distribute it a little more evenly through. And the Mac is macking, okay? I'm the big dog, woof, dog, woof, dog. If anybody watch Bernie Mac, y'all already know what it is. Lastly though, I am gonna top it with some parsley. It's some parsley. It's just some parsley. Okay, I'm gonna get a close up. I'm the big dog, woof, dog, woof, dog. Can y'all see? Yes, I want y'all to see my Mac. It's vegan, y'all. Okay, I ain't put it in the oven yet, so I'm gonna put it in the oven, let it bake up a little bit, and I'm gonna show y'all the final result. And y'all, here's the finished product of my Mac. It looks so good, and it tastes so good. Just want to show y'all the completed Mac. You see, it's kind of gold on the top, but as you get below, you see that juiciness. It's in there. You know what I'm saying? You see that moisture. You know what I'm saying? It ain't dry. So yeah. Thanks for tapping in on this video where I discussed the 5 signs that you're the problem and not them in dating. You know, as always, if the message resonated for you, you could like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me. Let me know in the comments how it resonated. Let me know if it was anything you can relate to. And also, I want to say, if you would like to book a personal reading with me and exchange energy, you can do so by heading to the description box and following the directions. You know, I am accepting personal one-on-one readings, so yeah, get your life read, get your life fed, get your life read, get your life fed, okay? Because that's what I do. I feed lives. That's what I do. I'm a life feeder. So thanks for tuning in, y'all. Hope this resonated. Hope it helps. Peace.